Welcome back to Robo Ninjas. Today, we're making your ESP32 smarter with MicroPython. We'll set up everything, flash the firmware, and even blink an LED, because what's coding without some blinking lights? Hit that like button, and let's dive in. Download Thonny. First of all, open Google and search for Thonny Python. Click on the first link from Thonny's official website, thonny.org. Here, you can see the latest version along with the changelog details. Move the mouse over the Windows option, and you will see different installers, including a portable version. Now, I am selecting the Windows 64-bit installer. The download is complete. Let's install the Thonny software. It's a simple process, just like any other software installation. The installation is now complete. Click Finish, and let's open the Thonny software. This is the Thonny interface. To program the ESP32 in Thonny, we need a tool called ESP32. Let's check if it's available. Go to Tools, then Manage Packages. Here, you can see that ESP32 is pre-installed in this version of Thonny. If it is not pre-installed, simply search for ESP32 in the search bar and press Enter. Click on ESP32 and you will see an Installs button. Since it is already installed, the button is not visible now. If it's not installed, click the button to install the tool. To program the ESP32 using MicroPython, a firmware is required. A brand new ESP32 does not come with MicroPython firmware pre-installed. The firmware can be installed in two ways, either by using a pre-downloaded firmware file or by installing it directly without downloading it separately. First, let's download the firmware, and then I'll explain both installation methods. Download firmware. Let's go to micropython.org and navigate to the Downloads section. Here, look for your board. I am using the ESP32 Room module. So click on ESP32 Room. You will see different firmware versions available. We can select the latest release, version 1.24.1, which will download a .bin file. Connect the device. This is the ESP32 Room module that I am using. Let's connect it to PC using a micro USB cable. Open the Run dialog by pressing Windows +R, type devmgmt.msc and hit Enter. The Device Manager window will appear. Navigate to the ports, and you will see the connected COM port. Here, I can see in COM6, which indicates my device is detected. If you don't see a COM port listed, it means the necessary driver is not installed. Install the appropriate driver for your device, then reconnect the ESP32 and repeat the process. Firmware upload. For firmware upload, let's go back to Thonny. Navigate to Tools, then select Options, and go to the Interpreter tab. First, select the interpreter as a MicroPython ESP32. Next, click on the Install or Update MicroPython link. As I mentioned earlier, there are two methods to upload the firmware. First, let's try uploading the firmware without downloading it separately. For this method, select your device's COM port as the target port. Set the MicroPython family to ESP32 and the variant to ESP32 Room. Choose the latest version, which is 1.24.1 in this case. Keep the rest of the options unchanged, then click on Install. Now, Thonny will download the selected firmware. Once the download is complete, the firmware flashing process will begin automatically. Let's wait for the process to complete. Meanwhile, let me show you the second method of installing the firmware. After selecting the target port in the Install MicroPython window, click on the three-line icon and choose a local MicroPython image. Then, select the MicroPython image file that we downloaded earlier and click Install. This will install the downloaded firmware onto the ESP32. The rest of the procedure is the same for both methods. The firmware flashing is complete. Now, close both windows. On the shell, you can see the MicroPython prompt. This prompt is from your connected ESP32 device. You can also see the MicroPython firmware details. To confirm that MicroPython is working, let's perform a simple math operation. Type 1 plus 5 and press enter. The result is 6, which means everything is functioning correctly. Congratulations! You have successfully installed MicroPython firmware on your device. Write your first code. First, let's set up the interface. Go to View, then click Files to enable the two-panel file view. This section shows your computer's file system, and this section displays the files inside the ESP32. Now, let's open boot.py. This is the file that executes automatically at boot. Close everything, and let's write some code. Create a new file by clicking File, New. Now, write the code to blink the built-in LED, which is connected to GPIO2. This is the code to turn on the LED. Before saving, you can test the code by clicking the Run Current Script button. Yes! The LED is turned on. Now, let's modify the code to make it blink. Alright. The code is ready. Run it. The LED is blinking. We have successfully written our first MicroPython program. Congratulations once again, and see you in the next video. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more MicroPython tutorials.